Example 2, expand and simplify. So, part A, 2 to the power of x plus 3 in brackets multiplied by 2 to the power of x plus 1. So this should be understood as something where the multiplication using the formula a plus b times c plus d should be used. Well, you can forget about the formula, of course, if you remember the basic idea behind it, and it was that you have to multiply the first term of the first bracket by the first term of the second bracket, then you have to multiply the first term of the first bracket with the second term of the second bracket, then the second term of the first bracket with the first term of the second bracket, and finally the second term of the first bracket with the second term of the second bracket. So this is what we are going to do. So let's first multiply first by first. So it's 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of x. So this is just first by first. Now plus, we have to multiply first term here times the second term here. So it's just 2 to the power of x times 1. So it's just 2 to the power of x, nothing else. Plus second term here times the first term here. So it's plus 3 times 2 to the power of x. 3 times, I will just use this multiplication symbol here, 2 to the power of x. And finally, we have 3 times 1, which is plus 3. Now, this should be simplified using the laws of exponents here. So here in this first, we have altogether, you see, we have 4 terms here. And to simplify the first term, we just use the law of exponents. Since those two bases, numbers 2, are the same, we have to add the exponents because there is the multiplication there. So what we end up here is with 2 to the power of x plus x, which is 2x, like that, plus, now you can see that the second term and the third term are actually like terms, because here we have one lot of 2 to the power of x, and here we have 3 lots of 2 to the power of x. So if you put it all together, you end up with 4 lots of 2 to the power of x. So it's 4 times 2 to the power of x, and finally we have the number 3. And this should be the final result. Well, we could leave it as the final answer, of course, but we can do something to it yet. So first we can realize that 2 to the power of 2x can be understood as 2 to the power of 2 to the power of x, according to the formula a to the power of m all raised to the power of n is a to the power of m times n. Okay, plus here number 4 can be expressed as 2 to the power of 2 times 2 to the power of x plus 3. And we can now say, okay, 2 to the power of 2 is 4, so we have 4 to the power of x plus, and now since we have the same base, we can add the powers in the middle term, so it's 2 to the power of 2 plus x, or x plus 2, and finally we arrive at this last term 3. And this should be the answer for the part A, or we could leave it in this form. This would be also correct form. Whatever, which of those you choose would be fine. Now let's move on to part B. In part B we have the expression in brackets 7 to the power of x plus 7 to the power of negative x or minus x equals 2. Now you can see the pattern. This is actually a formula a plus b, so you have the sum of two numbers, which is then squared. So we could use this formula. So as you know, this is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, and we can do exactly the same thing here. So our a in this case is this number here, so this number is a, and our b is this second number here. So we are going to work with those two numbers. So first we have the term a squared. So we take 7 to the power of x and square it like this. Plus, Then we have a mixed term 2ab, so it's 2 times 7 to the power of x times 7 to the power of negative x or minus x. Finally, plus, and we have to square b terms, so we'll use brackets, so it's 7 to the minus x squared, like that. Now we can continue here. Let me continue in this place. So 7 to the power of x all squared. Well, according to this law here, a to the power of m to the power of n is a to the product of powers. We can write that this is 7 to the power of 2x plus, now it's 2 times, and we can put these two together. You see that 7 and 7 are bases and they are the same, so you can, since they are multiplied, you can add the exponents. So x plus minus x is 0. So you end up with 7 to the power of 0, which is, as you well know, 1. Okay, 7 to the power of 0 is 1. And finally, we have 7 to the power of negative 2x. Now we can just write the final answer in the form 7 to the power of 2x plus 7 to the power of negative 2x plus 2. And this would be it.